Yo! So, back in September, I uploaded the How to Actually Learn Matchups video, and it seems to have gotten a super positive response. In that same video, I used an example from Lima's Bayonetta matchup chart to demonstrate how to actually utilize matchup charts as a resource. I pretty much demonstrated how instead of complaining about your main being in -2, you're able to address key arguments from that matchup chart and devote your time and resources to troubleshooting commonly presented issues. The way I went about highlighting this though, was through a funny meme, which I'll play here if you haven't seen it already.
Greninja's really easy. That character doesn't work versus Bayo. If you dash attacks your shield, you up out a shield. And if he got that dash attack, he has to read your air dodge to get one hit. You get hit by up throw up air in like a very small percent range, and then after that you just bats the up air. Because of bats, his whole game plan doesn't work. And because his hitboxes are so finicky, your heal set will just go under his forward air and will go under his nair and we'll just beat it. And the character has nothing on Bayo at ledge. And then you just do a bunch of nairs off stage and up Bs off stage, and he can't get past the hitboxes because his character doesn't have a hitbox on his up B. Got him! It's just a really bad character versus Bayo.
The Texas option, no kill though! Gets the nair!
Now, everybody that's seen this video seemed to find the humor in this meme while understanding the point that I was making. That is, everyone but Smash Twitter. So what happens when you fight against a well-versed Bayonetta who knows how to drift out of bats, doesn't use heal slide in neutral or ABK from ledge, and doesn't immediately mash aerials out of a short hop? Like, the video is definitely useful when fighting level 6 CPU Bayos, but beyond that, I'm dead. He didn't include a single bat's directional air dodge in the examples. Idge ball. What is Idge ball? Wait, to cross up that far, he has to dash attack like really close, and Bayo can just B-reverse the up B if he doesn't go that far for the dash attack. That's not counterplay, that's just you missing the forward air and punishing an air dodge. If it was bats within, she'd teleport away from you when it triggers. This level of gaslighting is insane. Alright, let me gaslight you a tiny bit more with my facts and knowledge. So today, instead of adding to the flames of X and blazing my glory, allow me to tackle each one of these arguments individually and explain why I believe that
If you dash attacks your shield, you up out a shield.
Now, Bayonetta's up B out of shield absolutely gives her an option to punish Greninja's dash attack. The problem here is that Bayonetta is one of the characters that's able to be consistently crossed up by Greninja's dash attack at point blank range. And since her up B only hits in front of her, this can cause her to whiff the attack. But can she B-reverse that up B? Absolutely. If she B-reverses her up B, now she can start to punish Greninja for crossing up her shield. The problem with this is that Greninja can choose to not cross up her shield, making her whiff the option. This essentially creates a 50-50 based on whether or not Greninja's dash attack is going to cross up on shield. Now the question is, what does Bayo lose from whiffing this up B? Can she just ABK away and retreat to a platform? Not quite. If Bayo whiffs an up B after a dash attack on shield, Greninja can guarantee an up smash, up air, drag down up air, or back air. And just like that, we're suddenly getting some of our most rewarding combo and kill moves from just one neutral interaction. This can condition Bayo to stop using up B out of shield entirely, allowing Greninja to toss out dash attacks much more liberally. But when you consider that even Greninja players are panic shielding after a safe dash attack, I don't blame Bayonetta players for thinking that up B out of shield is a free option for them.
And if he got that dash attack, he has to read your air dodge to get one hit.
Whenever I first started liveing out the Bayonetta matchup, I was also a believer that Greninja's advantage state really suffered against Bayo. And this is mainly because of Bat Within. A lot of Greninja's combos like dash attack forward air are barely untrue, meaning that Bayo is often able to activate Bat Within and escape this advantage for free. That's until you realize that whenever Bayo activates Bat Within, this interaction is almost always in Greninja's favor. While Bats might seem like a get out of jail free card, it's more of a 50% discount. One of the ways in which Bats is different from a regular air dodge is that Bayo still takes half the damage of the attack that activates it. And considering the good chunk of damage that Greninja's forward air does, that's not too bad. But don't worry, it gets even better. Greninja has the 9th fastest fall speed in the game, meaning that whenever he activates Bats, he's often able to fast fall to the ground and have at least even frame advantage against Bayo. Now, it's nothing crazy like plus 20 for Gren, but it is enough to strike Bayo's landing with a down tilt. Bayo's fastest grounded tilt is a tie between down tilt and up tilt on frame 7, meaning that Greninja's frame 5 down tilt is able to beat out the startup of the attack and extend his advantage state. And if Bayo's attack does come out in time, Greninja will often be able to outrange it for a punish. But what if Bayo shields? That's frame 1, right? Well, Greninja's down tilt is completely safe on shield, outranging Witch Twist and low profiling ABK before opening up Bayo for a punish. And even if Bayo tries to dash back from this bat scramble, down tilt can clip her poor initial dash. So against Bayo, you pretty much get the positives of Greninja's already incredible frame trapping game with a bonus damage of forward air connecting after Bats activates. While it certainly does feel unorthodox, this interaction is insane and Greninja players aren't using it enough. Now the question is, what about directional Bats? Check this out. Whenever you directional air dodge in Smash Ultimate, there are a few things that happen. Firstly, the game pulls you back in the opposite direction for a few frames before resetting your fall speed to 0. Afterwards, you move in the direction in which you input an air dodge before having up to 20 frames of landing lag, which is dependent on how high up you air dodge from. This is even better for Greninja than frame trapping Bats. Because of the initial shift of Bayonetta's hurtbox, Greninja's forward air does not activate Bats against Bayo's directional air dodge. So if you're wondering why I didn't showcase directional Bats, this is why. It is literally not possible for Bayo to activate directional bat within from this position. This means that Greninja is able to land way before Bayonetta, giving him a much heavier punish on her floaty air dodge and additional landing lag. The only interaction that I will clarify is when going for dash attack forward air at high percents. A lot of Greninja players see this interaction as a 50-50 between Bayo's air dodge or jump and struggle to get kills off of it. I will admit that this interaction is a 50-50, but the thing is, it's not a 50-50 in the way that players often think it is. There's two things to note here. First of all, Bayonetta is forced to land after both her bat within and air dodge from this high up. And secondly, Greninja can negate full hop fast fall forward air's 11 frames of landing lag through the use of an instant double jump. Why is this important? Well, whenever Bayonetta activates Bats from way the hell up here, Greninja can frame trap her into a guaranteed down tilt, leading into a kill. And if she tries to jump out, this combo is tight enough to clip her jump for a kill too. That's not a 50-50, that's just a straight up kill against jump and neutral air dodge. Now the question is, what about directional air dodge? Unfortunately, directional air dodge in this position does activate Bats, and Greninja isn't able to strike Bayo's landing since this creates a ton of distance. So instead, he can just go for a full hop forward air. While this does come out slower than the IDJ forward air and isn't able to be auto-cancelled, that's actually a good thing in this scenario. Now Bats doesn't get activated, and Greninja is able to fast fall before punishing the heavy landing lag of Bayo's neutral or directional air dodge, which she herself cannot fast fall from. So while this interaction is a 50-50, neutral air dodge can be covered 100% of the time. And with that, this is why I personally disagree with Lima's claim that because of Bats, Greninja's game plan doesn't work.
His grab range is really bad, so he has to hard commit on you to grab your shield. And that is really slow.
Alright, so if you're a Greninja player, you probably know that I do not have a reputation at all for defending Greninja's dash grab, and I am not about to start having one right now.
What the fuck is this?
But against Bayo, it's actually not that bad. So as we mentioned earlier, Bat Within can be a double-edged sword for Bayo. And one of the most interesting ways in which it is so is in how it affects Bayo's rolls and spot dodges. Whenever you think of a grab being punished out of shield, what do you think of?
Give me your attention, baby.
If you're a character with a frame 10 grab like us, yeah, that sounds about right. However, the first 5 frames of Bayonetta spot dodge are covered by Bat Within, meaning that she's not intangible until frame 6. This single-handedly makes her one of the most consistent characters to grab as Greninja. Now again, I'm not saying that Greninja's grab is amazing against Bayo, but it's a lot more lenient against her compared to how it is against other characters.
But let's say he run up grabs you and you get hit by the grab. Okay, you get hit by up throw up air in like a very small percent range, and then after that, you just bats the up air.
So it's really weird to say this, but Greninja's up throw up air is probably more consistent against Bayo compared to any other character. I've made a whole video on why this frame perfect combo is really finicky, but against Bats, Bayo will often put herself right back into the up air for you to combo into the launching hitbox. This is especially the case whenever you up throw her from underneath a platform, giving you some insane extensions that you wouldn't normally be able to get. And additionally, Bayo is one of the 24 characters that enters no tumble from Greninja's down throw, allowing Greninja to combo into a dash attack or forward tilt at early percents. Now you can extend your advantage state with frame traps, tech chases, or both.
And because his hitboxes are so finicky, your heal slide will just go under his forward air and will go under his nair and we'll just beat it.
This claim just straight up isn't true. Greninja is able to hit Bayo's heal slide with both his forward air and nair. However, I do believe that I understand where Lima's coming from. The sweet spot of Greninja's nair doesn't have nearly as big of a hitbox compared to the sour spot, and this hitbox does lose to Bayo's heal slide. So Greninjas, if you're going to challenge this move with nair, make sure that it's the lingering hitbox that you're using.
And the character has nothing on Bayo at ledge because, again, nothing is true. So you can just neutral get up or jump and he can't punish you for it without anything but like one hit.
Greninja actually has a ton that he could do against Bayo at ledge. For starters, Bayonetta players absolutely love to ABK from ledge, and Greninja gets to low profile and punish this with an up tilt. And due to how close platforms are often placed relative to the ledge, he can auto cancel up air for some very early kills. And it's not just this. Greninja can time his dash attack to hit Bayo's ledge stall as her invincibility runs out. This will often result in the late hitbox of dash attack connecting, in which case Bayo isn't able to bats out of the forward air. And seeing both how light Bayo is and how often Greninja gets to abuse max rage against her, this can be a very early kill. Not to mention that Greninja has everything else that he would normally use to ledge trap. Pivot grab to cover every ground and get up option, lingering dash attack and forward tilt to kill neutral get ups, full shurikens to pressure ledge stalls, and safe corner pressure since we low profile ABK. Oh, and Force Smash is able to cover every single one of Bayo's options with proper timing. And honestly, I think that Lima has this backwards. Bayo's only move to hit Greninja's ledge hang is down smash. This means that you can literally wait for her to input a laggy side B, a laggy forward smash, or commit to a back air and get off of ledge on reaction. I'm sorry, but Greninja does have stuff to use against Bayo at ledge.
You just hit him off stage, and then you just do a bunch of nairs off stage and up Bs off stage, and he can't get past the hitboxes because his character doesn't have a hitbox on his up B, and then he dies.
So in the How to Learn Matchups video, I give you my hot take that Greninja Sonic is an even matchup. Now that we're in a different video, it's only fair for me to give you all a new hot take to bash me in the comments for. Bayonetta's edge guarding is kind of mid. Well, at least against Greninja. Now, it is true that Hydro Pump will often be intercepted by the hitboxes of Bayo's up B and Nair. However, Shadow Sneak is amazing for getting around this. Shadow Sneak is a constant threat against Bayo off stage that needs to be respected. Her up B only has a is on a hitbox on the initial hit, meaning that if she gets predictable with it, Greninja can easily reversal her for a stock. As for her Nair, this both is and isn't the case. Whenever Greninja reappears after a Shadow Sneak, his hitbox is vulnerable for a few frames before the attack comes out. And against something like Bayonetta's lingering Nair, this can often result in Greninja being hit out of the attack startup. However, if you charge Shadow Sneak for long enough to get behind Bayo, Bayonetta's Nair will now start to send Greninja towards the stage. From here, it's an easy tech wall jump and directional air dodge to ledge, where you've suddenly gone from disadvantage to a ledge trap scenario. And since Bayo's up B doesn't snap to ledge, you can get away with a ton of stuff here. But let's say that you want to be really cool and put Bayo into your combo video on Twitter. If you're expecting Bayo to use up B immediately after you tech the Nair, you can go for a substitute and spike her for a kill at very early percents. But maybe that's a little bit too committal. What else can you do? So anytime that Bayo uses her up B or side B, she accumulates special landing lag, making her much more vulnerable upon her landing. Greninja can abuse this by teching Bayo's Nair and aiming Hydro Pump down past ledge towards her. This can often result in Bayo being forced to burn additional resources and land on stage, which Greninja can then heavily punish. If you play your cards right against Bayo, I genuinely believe that it's not that hard to turn your disadvantage into advantage against her.
It just doesn't work. Like, it's just a really bad character versus Bayo. It's just a bad character.
Greninja is absolutely not a bad character against Bayo. Not only have I disproven each one of Lima's arguments, but there's still the whole rest of the matchup that I haven't covered. Things like Greninja's low profile and high run speed, giving him access to parry option selects against ABK and neutral. Hydro Pump, making Greninja one of the few characters that's able to effectively edgeguard Bayo. Greninja's high fall speed and gravity, allowing him to reversal Bayo out of her combos with proper SDI. While Bayonetta can certainly feel unorthodox to fight as Greninja, I consider it a huge stretch to call him a bad character against her. If anything, I think that the problem here lies in the Greninja player base's lack of experience in the matchup, rather than Greninja's ability as a character himself. And that's really not a bad thing. With a roster as big as Smash Ultimates, it's completely normal to feel outside of your comfort zone when approaching a matchup for the first time. But where it really becomes a problem is when you start blaming your losses on the matchup without learning the matchup. While it's a lot easier to see your main in -2 and pinpoint your losses on that, understanding the rationale behind that placement will do wonders for you as a player. I may disagree with Lima's arguments, and Smash Twitters as a whole, but I'm incredibly thankful to Lena for outlining areas for me to devote my attention to. And because I had the thought to challenge his opinion, I was able to troubleshoot each one of his arguments, develop counterplay, push the meta, and become a better player. Top players' words aren't gospel, and as with anything in life, it's up to you to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Or who knows, maybe I'm just gaslighting. And on that note, the once a year upload curse has been broken. Barely. This video was actually planned for the second channel originally, until I realized that I literally spent 3 hours of my life cropping Danny DeVito out of a scene for a 2-second joke. If that's not quality content, I don't know what is. Oh, and speaking of the second channel, we just hit 1,000 subscribers over there. That was really fast, so thank you all for the support. If you enjoy this mini anti-Bayo guide, you may also enjoy the How to Beat Snake and How to Beat Steve lectures that are posted on the second channel. I snuck my college scene into a lecture hall after hours, so it's a good time talking about bombs and C4 in a classroom while trying not to get caught. And also, if you want a more in-depth look at the Bayo matchup for Greninja, the 7,000 word Summer of Matchups document is linked below. But with that, that's another year in the books for the Appalachian channel. Thank you all so much for an amazing 2024, and hopefully I'll see you all back here in 2025. But as we seek for improvement in the new year, there's one resolution that should be at the very top of all of your lists. Frank, go ahead and let them know what it is.
All right, gang, make sure that you hold in. It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.